All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Word with Ty Brownlow. I am your host, Ty Brownlow, and remember, no one is worthless. No story is worthless. And today, ladies and gentlemen, I have a very special guest for you. Would you please put your hands together for Miss Frances and Solomon, all the way from Toronto. All right, okay. How are you today, Miss Solomon?
I'm very well. Thank you so much for having me.
All right.
I'm excited to be here.
Okay, all right. Well, I am excited to have you because you are the founder of the CaribbeanTales Media Group and CinFam organizations, correct?
That's right. CaribbeanTales Media Group and also CinFam. That's a separate organization that supports creators of color, women creators of color.
Women creators. Okay, and we're about to get into that. And please forgive me, CinFam. Okay.
CinFam, yeah.
CinFam. Okay, all right. And you have a lineup of films coming up for the 2021 Film Festival. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Okay, so this year we have 3 film festivals. That's the announcement we've made, right? So this is our 2021 season. We're starting with the Windrush Caribbean Film Festival based in the UK. I don't know if you know what the Windrush means, but that was the name given to the generation of Caribbean people who arrived in England in 1948 after the war, right? And that was the first generation of Caribbean people to arrive in England after the war. So the modern wave, the modern influx of Caribbean people to Britain arrived at that time. And they brought carnival to England. They brought steel pan, calypso music, and black culture. So a lot of black culture in Britain is founded on that. And a lot of people who went to England then actually left England for one reason or another. And, went to America, came to Canada, went back to the Caribbean. It was a very interesting time because out of that came independence, came, in Africa, in the Caribbean, in America, the civil rights movement started in the 60s. So it was a very pivotal moment in time in England because the empire. So anyway, our festival focuses on the Windrush generation and the impact that it's had on British and world culture. So that's the first festival we're having. And we're focusing this year, our second year, on carnival culture. So we're showing a whole bunch of films about carnival, having discussion with online discussions with carnival artists, with mask makers, with steel band artists, with calypso artists workshops, calypso writing workshops, and so on. Really looking at the culture of carnival, right?
Okay.
So, yeah.
I like
so that's yeah. It's really exciting. And because the festival is virtual, it's going to be online. It's going to be accessible to everybody all over the world, right? So that's the first festival we're having, and that festival kicks off on June the 22nd, which is Windrush Day.
Yes.
Right. So that's how, and it goes all the way to the end of August, which is Carnival weekend in England. Because I don't know if you guys have Caribbean Carnival in Chicago, but it's a global festival.
Yeah.
Cities all over the world celebrate Carnival.
I can say this about Carnival, or as they call it here, but friends that I've known have traveled from here to Toronto to go participate in it. And there's like a rich West Indian culture here in Chicago.
I'm sure,
they're like festivals, but they're not as big as the ones like in Toronto and
Toronto and New York. New York has a huge one as well. Brooklyn Carnival.
So it's funny that you focused on culture and especially calypso. First and foremost, sidebar here. I work with kids. I work with the youth, and we were having a conversation about music the other day. And one of my coworkers mentioned Fela Kuti, but they had no idea of who Fela Kuti was.
Really? No.
I knew who Fela Kuti was.
Of course.
But I took it a step further. Instead of explaining who he was, like off bat, I had to explain to them like how sometimes you need to understand the culture of music. It's not just something that you listen to, you know, on the radio or whatever. You're just like, hey, I like that song. When like music has been an influence of culture, like since the beginning of time. That's how people first communicated, you know, so it has a, you know, certain type of like, you know, origin or beat, you know, certain beats stand for certain things. But once you understand the science of sound and the science of music and, you know, how things flow, then you can understand the culture. So that's how I presented it to him. And then I just brought it in like, well, you know, you're talking about Afrobeat, but talk about Afrobeat now versus what Afrobeat was originally. Afrobeat originally was something political and it was talking about the times. Now it's just something, hey, you know what?
It's dance music,
it's just dance music, you know. So it's all about having the message. And I like the fact that you all are celebrating Calypso music, you know, because, man, you know, like you get into the culture and I think that's what's missing these days, you know, sort of in a gap between young and old, I guess, you know, like there's like this culture, you know, it just gets merged in the middle. So I appreciate that. But now you said that was just one of the festivals.
That's just one festival.
Come on now. Tell us about these other festivals you got. Come on now, Francis.
Okay, so the Windrush Caribbean Film Festival is the second annual film festival. We started last year. And then after that, launching in July is the 16th annual CaribbeanTales International Film Festival. So that is for the past 16 years in Toronto, we've been having this film festival. And of course, this year it's also going to be virtual. So we're going to be showing all kinds of films, right? Having discussions with filmmakers from the Caribbean and its wide diaspora. We have lots and lots of beautiful films to show. So that's the 16th annual CaribbeanTales Film Festival. And that takes place between, I think, the 5th of July and the 18th of September.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
And then we've got the third festival that we have this year is the Cinefam International Film Festival. So that's a festival of films by women of color. And that takes place in October. And again, this is now our 6th year. So we're having it.
Okay. So, I mean, like, well, we're talking progression, you know, like this is Cinefam's 6th year, and you said the
CaribbeanTales 16th year.
Okay.
And so, Windrush 2nd year.
Second year.
Yeah.
So look.
And we're global, we're stretching all over the place, and we're virtual, so everybody can access us.
So I have a question. This is one question that I have to ask. So I'm an artist, okay? So if I'm an artist, I made a film. I mean, in this day and age, it's a little like, you know, tricky. What's considered a film? What's considered a short? You know, like in my mind, a short was always something maybe 20 minutes or, you know, shorter or what have you. Now you have movies that are like 4 or 5 minutes long. So let me ask, like when you are out here, or, you know, your group of people are out here examining all these, like, you know, movies that are being sent to you and all these projects, what is it that you're looking for, you know, that will make, you know, that project make the list of projects that's going to be displayed during the festival?
I think more than anything else, it's about authentic voices, you know, from the Caribbean. I mean, the Caribbean is a place that is very diverse. It's spread out across it's got different languages, spread out across a wide area. Most of the people in the Caribbean are actually living outside the Caribbean now. You know, they're living, there's huge populations of Caribbean people in America, in Europe, in Africa, you know, all over the world. And so it's a very diverse, and for me, there is no template to who we are as Caribbean people. You know, it's about really providing a panoply of voices to showcase just, the wide range, just to give people a small taste of who we are and who we can be. That's what the festivals are. And with Cinefam, the same thing. I mean, women of color, it's very important. I mean, I'm obviously a woman of color. Quite often, historically, our voices have been overlooked, and so it's really important for me now to provide a platform to showcase all the different kinds of stories of women, because we all have our story to tell, and our stories are very important in the fabric of the human narrative, So just to provide that balance of perspectives,
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, so you sort of answered my other question, so I'm going to ask anyway, but in a different way. During these, times, especially like these last couple of months, and like this last year with the pandemic or what have you. And I can just speak from here in the U.S., what's been going on here, but I'm pretty sure global, there's been unrest as well. There's been like racial, injustice or what have you, just like injustice from all ends. Having something like this, as you said, like empowering, telling people's stories and having people's perspectives. Especially here in the United States, what do you think can be done to push that narrative a little bit more? Because sometimes, not sometimes, mostly in the media, the narrative about, people being from the islands or what have you, it will be painted into one picture, and that's all you ever get. Like everybody from Jamaica just like has
smokes ganja, and listens to reggae,
yeah, right.
And is a drug dealer,
right?
And, reggae music, and
exactly,
WAP man, and all this,
Exactly.
That's really why I love what I do, is because I really I think it's soul destroying to see the way that the so-called mainstream makes us into, represents us in these very narrow ways. We're either victims or criminals. We're either slaves or or drug dealers, and the only kind of music that in America that we listen to apparently is hip hop. Do you know what I mean? Whereas Black music is so incredibly diverse. Do you know what I mean? There is no limit to what Black people have been able to create in terms of music. If you think about where it started, the rhythms of Africa, how it's evolved into South American music and Caribbean music and American blues and jazz and modern music, and it's just incredible. And who we are, like how we've survived as people of African heritage all over the world, the heroism of what we've achieved, really, despite everything we've been through, and yet the way that we're seen is so limited, and so stereotypical, and so that is what really drives me, is to say we can be anything we want. We can be anything we want, and we are everything. We're human. We're human beings.
Exactly. Look here. Francis and Solomon said so. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I say that all the time. We can be whatever we want. Sometimes, man, everybody always asks about the seat at the table. I always say, build your own damn table with your own seats. You know how you like to relax, so why not, and which is why I have the platform I have. I built this platform because I want to feature, things that normally, here's my thing real quick. I like to be as informative about everything going in the world with like Black people. I don't care what the hell it is, if they're in Russia, cool, man, you got something going on, let's talk about it, I don't care. And it's like a learning lesson for me as well, because I get to be informed on what's really going on the ground floor, not what the media or what I'm going to get fed, sometimes people are just look, let's just face it, Francis, we live in a digital age. People are lazy to go online to type in and to really learn. But I'm gonna take it all the way back to what we talked about before, and that's culture, you know. And once you learn culture, and as I spoke before about music and culture, you know, like there's a meaning behind what you really hear. And once you learn the meaning and understand what it is, then you will learn to appreciate the artists, you know, the great Calypso artists and all the Caribbean and all of like the international, you know, artists of color who have contributed to this thing called music.
Exactly. Like once you understand the stories of those who are making music, then you understand what you know, everything.
But I mean, well, not just music, ladies and gentlemen. We talking about a film festival. All right, it's going, man. That is coming, and it's going to be virtual. And how can people, you know, see all these things, Francis? Like,
you can go to CaribbeanTales-TV.com. That's our VOD platform, right? And that's where all the festivals are taking place. Where we've got, and not just film screenings, we have discussions, workshops, filmmaker talkbacks, you know, in conversation, pieces with celebrities and artists and activists and leading entrepreneurs in the arts. So, and it's going to be global. So
I love it. I love that. So if people want to get in contact with you and everything you have going on, how can people get in contact with you?
Again, CaribbeanTalesTV.com,
okay.
Right? Mm-hmm. Or you can also contact us through CaribbeanTales@gmail.com. That's the easiest way. Visit our websites, CaribbeanTalesFestivals.com, WindrushFestival.com, Cinefam.com. But if you just keep in mind Caribbean Tales, Google it and everything will come up and you'll be able to log in and be connected. It will be a blast.
Love it. Caribbean Tales, ladies and gentlemen, look, log in, support. All right. Oh man, look here, all my island people up north in Chicago, look, support. All right, support.
Well, just join the movement, you know. Mm-hmm. Because it's going to be really, really, it's really like because Carnival is a global movement. Caribbean culture is global. It's been really incredible, actually. COVID has given us an opportunity to create a global platform that brings people together in a way that we've never been. Like when we have events, normally we have events, 400-500 people come. That's wonderful. We jump up in the streets, we go watch a movie, we talk about it. But now we can have people, like we now have discussions. I'm sure you do the same, where we have people, you know, logging on from Africa, logging on from the Caribbean, logging on from all over the world, and we're all connecting, talking to each other, and the conversations are different, you know, they're at a different level, and noticing that we are, I mean, it's incredible, actually. It's so beautiful because all of us, you know, we're ripped from Mother Africa. Like we all have blood relatives who made that crossing, you know, under these horrible circumstances, taken away from their families and their communities under terrible circumstances, and survived 400 years of terror and horrendous treatment in different parts of the world, right? Whether it's in South America or in the US, or even in Europe and Canada, we have been separated. And it's amazing the way that the internet is giving us a chance to notice that, I mean, who knows, you could be my relative.
Well, I was going to say, you know, I'm just sitting here and I'm listening to everything that you're talking about and how you're going to have it on these platforms, especially, you know, from, you know, artists and creatives from all around the world, especially like international. And the one thing that's just jumping out at me is networking. Why isn't there more of a network where we can have African Americans from the States or whatever, you know, maybe not like submit like projects or what have you, but you know, just have it where, okay, well, there's
dialogue,
networking going on. There's
the dialogue, the connection. Right. I found, you know, you do find family.
Yeah, and hey, sometimes you have to build your own family, ladies and gentlemen. And hey, you know, if that means reaching out and having them from like the international section of the world, so be it. All right. Hey, look here, I welcome them all, you know, as long as they're friends of the show and friends of the movement. That's all I care about. Okay. All right. Well, look here, Miss Frances Ann Solomon. I've come to the last question, the question that my show is known for. So I have to ask, Miss Frances Ann Solomon, what is the one word that best describes you and why?
I don't know. How do I know that? That's like a crazy question. One word. I just told you that we cannot be limited. That's what I just.
Okay.
Did you not listen
know
to
what?
anything I said?
You know what? No. There it is. That's the word. Non-limited. We're going to make it 2 words. Non-limited. That is your word.
Unlimited. Yeah.
Unlimited. Okay. Unlimited. There we go. All right. Not unlimited. All right. I like your word better. Unlimited. All right. I like it. And I mean, I just, you know, love everything you have going on. As I said before, the social network, ladies and gentlemen, CaribbeanTales.com. Man, CaribbeanTales.com, ladies and gentlemen, go there. Support, network. All right. I mean, change the narrative if you want to really know what's really going on, especially for my people of film. Man, like, see outside the box, connect, create. You never know what can happen. You know,
exactly.
I mean, you know, you can really have an international hit, you know.
Exactly.
So, man, once again, I thank you, Frances Ann Solomon, for being my guest on the show today.
Thank you, Ty.
No problem. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Word with Ty Brownlow. I've been your host, Ty Brownlow. Remember, no one is worthless, no story is worthless. You can follow me on all social media platforms at Word with Ty Brownlow, or you can just go to my website, tybrownlow.com, get this wonderful interview plus other great interviews. Ladies and gentlemen, we're out. Peace.